rather than obviously talking about the gruesome violence that occurred and how that violence might greenlight more violence toward people on the right. He says, no, actually, that's not what it's going to do. It's going to be worse for the people on my side because they're going to use his martyrdom to enact policies that will hurt people on my side. Now, what is those policies? Well, it's designating Antifa as a fucking terrorist group. You can't make this up. His response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk was saying the people who are supporting this violence, who are part of anti-fascist movements, should be designated as terrorist organizations. And then he's like, yeah, but that's a bad thing. It's not! Alright guys, let's talk about Antifa and Hasan Piker. So recently Trump decided to talk about Antifa on Truth Social, writing this: I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And it got, what is this, 5,000 likes? Not gonna lie to you, bro. We gotta get those numbers up. Okay, you gotta be farming more likes off these patriots. But anyway, I think, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know enough about Antifa to tell you if they're seriously a terrorist threat. From what I understand, they are violent, so my gut tells me anything violent should be classified as a terrorist organization if the organization itself is violent, right? I mean, one person committing violence, probably not worthy of designating his family as an organization that's terrorist, but, you know, if it's a, you know, organization, if it's a web of people that are united in beliefs that decide to enact violence, probably a good idea to designate them as a terrorist organization. But where does that bring us for this video? It brings us to Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker, he posts a YouTube short responding to this because let's talk about Hasan Piker, man. He's upset because he is anti-fascist, but I don't think he's a member of Antifa. But I don't even know how you become a member of Antifa. I truly, I mean, I don't know. I haven't done the research on this stuff, but let's take a look what he had to say in response.
To inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization.
So two things on this. First of all, this is long overdue. It's not just an ideology.
Yo, dickhead, this is about you. Take a seat. He gets up to, well, hold on a second. Did he stand up just to make sure that within the YouTube shorts, his labubu is being shown? That's insane.
If you remember the summer of
But yeah, sit down, bro. This one's about you.
love, that was many of those people were Antifa.
And he talked about doing it then.
That's exactly right. And now he's back in the presidency to make it happen. They're domestic terrorists.
We don't even prosecute the Klan in this country. What are we talking about, dude? We don't even prosecute neo-Nazi groups. Like, think about that. We don't investigate these groups, but we're going to investigate something that's not even a group at all. Antifa, anti-fascism, is not an organized body. Anti-fascism is an ideology.
Right, but it's an ideology where people can decide to join Telegram group chats where meetups are being planned and arranged and then enact violence within those meetups, right? Let's not act like we're completely oblivious to what's happening here. I hate when people play dumb when they know exactly what's happening. It really drives me crazy, bro. People who act stupid the moment that they get called out, this is literally the definition of playing dumb, you know? It's like, you know, the officer pulls you over on the highway. Do you know how fast you were going? No, I don't know. And you were like literally going 200 in a 40-mile-per-hour school zone like 30 seconds ago. I hate this kind of shit. It's so lame.
The anti-fascist.
Because, again, he wants to have it both ways. He wants to say, no, we're not a group, we're not serious, we're not violent, we don't actually do anything. But simultaneously, he also wants to say that it's a serious political movement that people should become invested in, you know? He wants to have it be not serious when people are going to get in trouble for it, but he also wants it to be serious when pitching it as a political ideology to people.
Fascism is an action. Anti-fascism does not have a disciplined formation. Fascism requires constant.
Neither does neo-Nazism. Like, what? What are you talking about? He's saying neo-Nazi groups don't get persecuted, but then he says anti-fascist groups aren't even real groups. But it's like, neither are real, honestly, neo-Nazi groups for the most part. Like, if you want to talk about neo-Nazi groups, you have, like, fucking Discord, like, VCs, you know? You have people sharing Instagram reels in group chats with people that are racist. Like, again, you have to be more specific here.
Discipline. And
the KKK was persecuted when they were violently protesting about killing innocent people. Now that they have just been preaching in private to other bumfucks, the other side is doing it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much about the KKK, but let's not act like the KKK is nearly as serious of a threat to everyday people as anti-fascism violence is, you know? Like, let's not even act like this is even comparable, right?
anti-fascism does not. Anti-fascism could be anti-racism. All this talk, especially coming from this show, by the way, as far as violent language goes, is really interesting because Brian Kilme last week week straight up said we should euthanize the homeless.
Really? Did he actually say that? Wait. Oh my God, wait, hold on. Fox host apologizes for suggesting lethal injections for mentally ill homeless people. Just kill him, Brian Kilmeade said on Fox and Friends during a discussion about the deadly stabbing in North Carolina in which a homeless man was charged. Oh. Well, okay, that makes sense though. I mean, if it's a homeless guy is going around shanking people, you do have to kill him. I mean, if those kind of people are going around fucking killing people, you got to euthanize them. 100%, I agree.
We should kill them all.
Well, I don't know if he said kill them all. I think you added the all part, right? I think when you added the word all there, you're now saying every homeless person should be shot and killed or euthanized and killed when he was maybe just talking about that kind of person.
Camera caught in 4K.
He said, I'm pleased to inform our...
Well, anyway, so instead of actually responding to this designation of Antifa as a major terrorist organization, he just kind of downplays the role of Antifa in violent altercations and then just whataboutisms the rest of the clip. He just says, the KKK does this, neo-Nazi groups do this, etc., which is, again, like obfuscation. And, yeah, I mean, Antifa definitely does do violence. A lot of it is on video, a lot of major protests in support of social justice movements. The violence that takes place in these protests and what turns these protests largely from protests to riots is anti-fascist violence, right? And so, yeah, I think acting oblivious to this stuff is just so lame because, like I said before, they want to act oblivious to it until they want to be reckoned with, you know, until they want to act like they're doing shit. You know, we don't do anything, guys. We're not a harmful thing at all, but then they want to say, yeah, we're super harmful. We're going to fuck up the system, eat the rich. But it's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, I want to take a look at this. Far-left radical Hasan Piker given a spot on the evening news. I don't even know what this is, to be honest, but Sky News Australia has 6 million subs, so I figure this is going to be somewhat notable.
Moving on now to the ABC's flagship political program 7:30, which, for the record, took nearly a week to cover the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And when it finally did, this is who they decided to interview.
Kill them. Kill those murder those The streets soak in the red capitalist bloods, dude.
Yes, the person they spoke to about Charlie Kirk's death was Hasan Piker, a very far-left political streamer notorious for his violent rhetoric. Now, host Sarah Ferguson did actually ask Piker about that particular clip, and he just brushed it off as a joke, but he has said far more than just that.
Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be showing your opponent's guts on there. You need to be shanking these and letting their intestines just ride on stage. Slice them up. Slice them, dice them.
Yeah, man, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. And like, if you're going to be upset that, like, the anti-fascist people are being referred to as terrorists and then speak like this, the call is coming from inside the house. This is the same sort of violence that they're doing, that you're supporting, that you're saying, that you're echoing.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or
it's just so lame, man.
Medicaid fraud, you would
look at his comments too. Well, yeah, that's like yep. That's the yep Pepe emote.
kill Rick Scott. Okay.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel.
Overall, what my favorite flag? Yeah, Hezbollah. Look it up.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag. Any kind of Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a rabid neo-Nazi. And you shouldn't even let someone be the local dog catcher if they've ever exhibited any sort of like positive feelings about the state of Israel. I'm so serious. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
As for the interview itself, it started off with Piker condemning the assassination, but it quickly devolved into criticism of Kirk and the Trump administration.
Instantly, I knew that this was going to be something that the administration will use against those that they've declared political dissidents. And unfortunately, my fears were realized shortly after when Donald Trump came out, only a couple hours after announcing Charlie Kirk's untimely demise, and make a statement about how they were basically going to start prosecuting and persecuting political dissidents.
He's such a fucking snake, dude. So the first thing he says when Charlie Kirk gets assassinated is that they're going to use this to make things worse for our side, rather than obviously talking about the gruesome violence that occurred and how that violence might greenlight more violence toward people on the right. He says, no, actually, that's not what it's going to do. It's going to be worse for the people on my side because they're going to use his martyrdom to enact policies that will hurt people on my side. Now, what is those policies? Well, it's designating Antifa as a fucking terrorist group. You can't make this up. His response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk was saying the people who are supporting this violence, who are part of anti-fascist movements, should be designated as terrorist organizations. And then he's like, yeah, but that's a bad thing. It's not, dude. You're the same guy who says we should kill people and gut them, have their intestines spill out on the main stage, and you're upset that because the violence that you support took place is now being used to justify people designating violent groups as terrorist groups is bad. Yeah, man.
And it gets even worse. The ABC in its online copy portrayed this guy as some sort of a hero. It wrote, despite the escalation of threats directed towards him, Mr. Piker told 730 that he would remain vigilant but undeterred, while in a country where gun violence is a problem. Let's bring the panel back in to discuss. Now, Kel, this Hasan Piker is just an abhorrent individual. I don't know what they were thinking, putting him on this platform as if he is this some kind of representative of progressive views.
Yeah, I think the issue too is when you have Hasan, obviously he's gonna say what he's gonna say. He hasn't changed. He hasn't showed any signs that he's gonna turn down the rhetoric or stop supporting violence. If anything, he's escalated it, right? When you go from saying America deserved 9/11 to kill this senator or this congressperson, I forget what position Rick Scott holds, to saying, right, gut your opponents and show their intestines, there's clearly an escalation in the rhetoric. What you go from supporting a terrorist attack to supporting killing individuals to supporting killing individuals in a graphic and gruesome way. So that's going to happen. That's going to be what he does. That's the lane that he occupies in political discourse, right? But the issue is that not only is his communication ramping up, but people are co-signing this. Legitimate media institutions are platforming this. They're giving him a wider audience. Not that many older people use Twitch. A lot of older people use their fucking cable box and watch the nightly news. And when those old people who already hold, in some cases, very left-leaning political beliefs are given a smidgen of the Hasan that they've never seen before because he's on Twitch and they don't even know how to use a fucking computer, they're all of a sudden going to be desensitized to rhetoric that you should be sensitized to. You should not be able to hear random people calling for violence against people every single day and have that be sort of excused as a political message. I think that's completely disgusting. So that's the main issue that these organizations have, is that they are putting somebody who is saying radical things in front of a whole new audience that they would not have previously, been exposed to.
He is as fringe as it gets. He has these despicable views. You've seen the clips. He has a track record of supporting terror organizations.
And it's hilarious too, man. Nick Fuentes, the guy who's like supposedly his equal and opposite on the other side of politics, he doesn't call for violence. He doesn't. He has never said one time, go to this person, attack them. He has never said, go to this person and ruin their life with violence and hatred and swatting and doxing and police phone calls. Hasan loves it. He loves when people absolutely get fucked and terrorized through his words and actions. He loves it, and he supports it, and you know that he supports it because he keeps doing it. It's insane to me. It's ridiculous. There's a clip of him where he's talking about, I always get people who work in politics, their labels mixed up. I always confuse senator and congressman and whatever, right? But there's a video of him talking about some government official and how this government official was receiving death threats every single day from people and how this person had to resign, right? And he said that's a good thing. So he supports violence. Okay, if you're saying that somebody quitting their job because of receiving violent threats is good, you're supporting violence. Nick Fuentes never has done that. And he's seen as more radical and fringe than Hasan, which I don't want to live in a world where people who support violence in very bloody and gruesome ways are not seen as the most radical option. That is as radical as it gets.
Of specifically calling for violence. And these journalists, they seem to not understand who these people are that we're dealing with.
I've got to be honest and say, I don't believe they didn't do their research. They must have had some idea of who this man was because they played a clip, right? They did play one clip and ask him to respond to it. So they knew where he was coming from. What they also...
And the clip was sort of, OK, now we can talk to him because we've asked him the one tough question.
We've tamed it. But that clip, he's actually saying things that a lot of people in the Democrat Party say. Jasmine Crockett is saying things like this, right? And she's in Congress for the Democratic Party. So the Democratic Party has got people saying things almost as extreme as this man. What's happened in America? We talk about Australia being divided. America is more deeply divided. The left is now extremely left. The Democrat Party is now extremely left. And you can't go on thinking of your opponents, the Trump supporters, as evil without thinking it's okay if they die. If this young man, father of 2 little girls who now don't have a daddy, if he's on the right, he is so evil he deserves to die.
Darren, bring you in here. What do you think of it?
I'm shocked that they've given a platform to him and airtime to him. I think it risks normalising very inflammatory rhetoric.
Like that's the main issue of all of this, is that when you platform something like this to an audience that would have not been previously exposed to it, you genuinely are running the risk of further radicalization in a way that I don't think these platforms truly understand. Once you open the floodgates for some people to go and watch Hasan Piker that would not have previously watched him, when they watch him and he says things like, go kill somebody, go stab somebody, what do you think will happen to those people? Either A, which is incredibly unlikely, thank God, they will go and commit violence, or B, at the very least, they'll be okay with the violence that others are doing, which, in my opinion, isn't so much better than the first one. You know, just because they don't immediately have blood on their hands because they're allowing other people to do the thing that they would do, or at least they support, it's not that much better, honestly. I don't want to live in a culture where people celebrate violence, where they celebrate assassinations and murder of political opponents. I think that's disgusting, and I think that any platform that is complicit in furthering that radicalization, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, at the very least, they should be condemned. I think they should be delegitimized, from the eyes of viewers and from, the media legitimacy standpoint, right? But what else can you really do besides that? I mean,
there are so many authoritative...
It was such a softball interview. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it, but the reality is that it would probably be better that I don't watch it because I've seen enough of this guy's clips to kind of know what's good. And I have no interest in watching something that will make me angry when I already understand what I'm up against, It's like when this is not obviously I'm not calling anybody a pedophile right now, but I'm just making an example here. Imagine you're talking with a pedophile and you know that this guy is a pedophile and he's disgusting. And you just keep asking him, why do you want to touch kids? And he keeps telling you why you want to touch kids. And you know why he wants to touch kids, but it's like at a certain point, there is no more questions that have to be asked. You know who this person is, you know what he wants, you know why he's evil. Even listening to what he has to say is bad for your mental health. So it's like, I think it's the same thing with Hasan. I have no interest in hearing what he has to say. I just want him to be criticized and condemned. And yeah, I mean, he's totally not a legitimate political figure. He's unserious. The, sort of threatening language that he uses, I think should completely remove him from any level of, authority, of discussion. And yeah.
They could have gone to for commentary on this really, really important story. And I mean, I think it's very lazy commissioning and it just shows incredibly poor editorial judgment. It's a shocker, an absolute shocker.
Yeah, I agree. Now to America, where free speech is suddenly the most important principle to those on the left and the radical media commentators. They weave and twist to find any reason why those on the left should not have to rein in their rhetoric after the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
We're talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot. I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally. I think this was a emotionally stunted.
Oh my God, they're talking about the kid who shot Charlie Kirk because he was dating, I think, a transgender, that him deciding to kill Charlie Kirk because he spreads anti-trans ideology is not political, it's emotional. Oh my God! You don't hate the media enough. You actually don't. These people are such disgusting hacks, and they need, oh my fuck, look at this bald piece of shit. This fucking milk dud looking motherfucker is gonna get up on here and get paid to give his opinion, and his opinion is, I don't think it's a political assassination, it's an emotional one. Acting like Charlie Kirk fucked his bitch or something. No, it's political. Charlie Kirk doesn't think trans women are women, and he was upset by that take, which is a political take, because that has to do with the way in which we, address people legally. Decided to kill Charlie Kirk. Holy fuck. Insane how they were shading the shooter was a Republican. Oh my god, yeah, I know. It's so annoying. Like, listen, the reality is, when you have people that have, let's say, certain fetishes or certain interests, most of the people that are going to sort of like comfort you for having these interests and will confide in you and will create communities with you for these certain interests are going to be communities that are largely left-wing, because one of the largest left-wing virtues that is propagated is tolerance and acceptance, right? Now, that ultimately means allowing for people with, sort of interests and stuff that are weird in most cases to, sort of feel at home and to feel safe and whatever, right? And so what ends up happening is you have these people who get into like VR chat furry porn servers, and all of their friends become Hasan viewers who like goon to feet that are, have fur on them for 8 hours a day, and end up dating a transgender in real life. And after that transgender is like, watching Hasan react to hateful Charlie Kirk clips, it's like, yeah, maybe I do have to go and snipe this guy to make my my transgender girlfriend feel more safe, right? I mean, that's ultimately what this is.
Person who literally, when I say it this way, just hear me, tried to defend his significant other.
This is insane.
Not trying to defend some ideology.
That was Montel Williams,
That's
known
insane.
for hosting a daytime talk show.
That's insane.
And dating former presidential hopeful Kamala Harris once upon a time.
Really? He dated Kamala? Oh shit, he got dumped, huh? Bro, he got bald and Kamala was like, oh hell nah!
And dating former presidential hopeful Kamala Harris once upon a time. To Williams, it was just a story of love, and in no way related to politics. Of course, CNN's Scott Jennings was quick to point out, we not only know the motive, we have the shooter's text messages where he explains why he did it.
The evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascists.
This is literally Geeked versus Locked In, by the way.
On the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
But it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried. Well, so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism.
Yes.
He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face.
Well, joining me to...
well, that's correct. Like, let's not act like dating a transgender doesn't have political undertones. Like, obviously, you can lie to yourself and say that this is something that, is not political because it doesn't involve policy or whatever. But at the end of the day, when Charlie Kirk gets hate from people on the left, are they talking about his true policy positions, or are they claiming that he's a racist, a transphobe, and a homophobe? Right? That's what this is.
Try and dissect this story. Is Gabriella Power...
You have to understand, like... Charlie Kirk did not get killed because he thinks that taxes are too high. Charlie Kirk did not get killed because he thinks that, I don't know, the Federal Reserve controls the price of money and that's bad for everyday people, or that BlackRock is purchasing homes. You think BlackRock went and shot this guy because, he criticizes them? It's not like that, The reality is the hatred is what got him killed. His hatred, which ultimately is simply rejecting certain social narratives that are prevalent in society that tend to end up corrupting many people and turning their lives worse. And I think standing against that and in opposition to that is better for our society. And people who don't like that he stands in opposition to that hate him, right? And they kill him. I mean, it's literally so simple. Bro, the clip of the reporter saying it was a gun being shot off in celebration is crazy. I did see that as well. I mean, these people are like fucking retarded. Like, if you think that somebody who was happy Charlie Kirk was speaking facts, that he shot him in the neck, you're like, you don't deserve rights.
Host of Power Hour, one of the most watched podcasts in America. Gabriella, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
Well, the extraordinary
Holy fuck, she's bad.
commentary that we're seeing on CNN and this suggestion that it was a lover's defence, for me, I look at that and I see a justification.
Yeah, I look at that and I think, imagine how Erica Kirk is feeling listening to that right now, that this suspected murderer, this psychopath who killed Charlie Kirk in the most evil way possible, in front of his young children, in front of his wife, in front of all those students there, in front of the world, really, we all watched that vision. And then for Montel Williams to say he was a love-torn child,
It's like so brain dead. Yeah, anyone like who says this is like a what is it called? Like love crime of passion sort of thing. It's so brain dead. Thank you for the 100 bits.
and it wasn't politically motivated when we know the facts. I mean, thank God for Scott Jennings there bringing the facts to CNN that this it appears to be very much politically motivated. His parents have told authorities that he was becoming more and more left-wing. He was dating the trans boyfriend, of course. And, we're learning more about the details leading up to that attack. For even Montel Williams to try and...
It is interesting to think about that Charlie Kirk says very simply that the goal of life and how you can become happier in this short life that we all have is that you should make a lot of money, raise a lot of kids, and follow Jesus Christ, right? And ultimately, some guy who's like on Discord doing furry role plays and fucking his boyfriend in the butt every night, who will not be able to have kids with this boyfriend, is going to go ahead and claim what he's saying is hateful, when what he's saying is honestly the best thing that can happen to anybody. Make a lot of money, have a lot of kids, live a good life. It's actually crazy. It's like, is it like that he's upset that he can't do that subconsciously because, he's been like groomed by the internet, so he has to take it out on Charlie Kirk, who wants a better life for all of us? I don't know. It's actually kind of nuts.
And defend this shooter waiting
just mental illness
for half an hour to get the exact right moment to take a shot at Charlie Kirk. I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, well said. But one man who fell for the conspiracy and went to air with false claims that the shooter was actually a Trump supporter.
Wait, what?
Was Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh.
We hit some new lows over the weekend.
I saw this. Hold on. Before the clip plays, what's going on with this? Like, Jimmy Kimmel got his show pulled or something? I don't know what that's about, but was it like forced off air? I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that he's getting silenced or something. I don't know enough about this, but regardless, I'm not going to miss Jimmy Kimmel. Whether it's like a legitimate pulling of his show or not, obviously that's a discussion worth having, but let's not act like this dude was funny at all. He was funny when he did blackface.
Supporter was Jimmy Kimmel.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything.
Well, obviously he's not.
Everything they can to score political points from it.
Well, those comments cost Kimmel his job. The regulator in America was poised to launch an investigation into the ABC after Kimmel knowingly spread that lie. And we know he knew.
Interesting.
Because several days before Kimmel went to air with that...
show being pulled equals fine. Government investing Jimmy Kimmel over this equals not fine. Are they doing that? Are they investigating him? I think... What are they going to... The investigation's over. The investigation is they look at him, they find that he's a retard, and it's over. It's not like he's trying to spread some fucking propaganda. I feel like he's just dumb. Like, he just reads a headline and goes with it. He's like a droid. He's an NPC.
Conspiracy.
I mean, I guess, they're spreading propaganda knowing that it's propaganda and spreading propaganda because you're a fucking idiot.
The Wall Street Journal revealed the shooter's bullet casings had phrases such as, "Hey, fascist, catch," written on them. But
why doesn't he read the rest of them, like the one that's like nuzzles bulge?
All of a sudden, the left is in favour of Kimmel's right to lie. The Guardian reports censor-in-chief trumped back FCC chair at...
Crazy how they're more mad about Jimmy's show being pulled while a dude literally got shot. Yeah, that is also interesting. I'm seeing a lot of people who didn't have a word to say about Kirk's assassination talking about talking about Jimmy Kimmel losing his job as if it's like worse. Little insane.
Part of Jimmy Kimmel's storm. And of course, many Hollywood actors and left-wing pundits are outraged that Kimmel's comments cost him his job. But I must have missed where it has been agreed that TV channels should have no regulation and no obligation to the truth. Those harping on about free speech now are ignoring the fact that the host told an intentional lie.
Yeah, I did see that. Pedro Pascal was dead silent when Charlie died, but posted when Jimmy Kimmel got fired, LOL. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're acting like he's some sort of martyr, right? I mean, we're talking about like a multimillionaire guy, or, you know, probably tens of millions of dollars to his name off of standing in front of a camera chirping just random shit for, you know, a few decades, which is cool. I think it's awesome that you get to do that. You know, that he died because his show got pulled, you know? It's like, imagine my YouTube channel got deleted and people acted like I was a martyr. You know, I mean, I think that's kind of silly, you know? Like, if I criticize somebody who got shot and my channel got pulled, I wouldn't want people to think that I have it worse than the dude who got shot.
Isn't the right being hypocritical here? It is the left, which created the robust regulatory environment, which is now being policed by.
Yes. He's correct.
So this is the remarkable twisting and weaving that we've seen. And I knew that there was going to be some shameless twisting, but the pivoting from this notion that, well, no, he was actually one of you, to this notion that, no, we can say whatever we want. When has that ever been the standard? When has it ever been the standard in the media? If you're a journalist or a presenter and you publish something which is knowingly false, particularly around this kind of environment with this rhetoric, you get sacked on the spot. It happens to everybody, and it should happen to people.
Of course, there are consequences. Jimmy Kimmel was on $15 million a year. He has more than
oh, yeah, see, I told you, tens of millions. 15 mil a year, huh? That's, no, fuck me, huh? 15 mil a year.
a dozen staff writers. There are about 100 staff that work on the show. He knew exactly what he was doing. He made those comments 5 days after...
Bro, he just like me. I got the fucking same beak.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated. It wasn't an off-the-cuff joke. It was an intentional lie. And I think so many Americans have just really had enough. They've really woken up. They're sick of being lied to about Joe Biden. They're sick of being lied to about Donald Trump, how he's constantly being labelled a fascist. He's being labelled a Nazi. We're sick of hearing so many lies from the mainstream media. And this is another one from Jimmy Kimmel, and it was intentional. You know, the other point, of course, is that his ratings have been in decline, and so really he's had a lot of time to reflect on some of the commentary that he makes.
I do think just in general, though, like what late night show hosts are in large decline. I don't think anyone's really sitting down watching these people for what they have to say. I think they're watching these people because they are drinking all day and are falling asleep to something that they used to once enjoy. Right? It's like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel's on. That used to be fun. Let's put it on. And like you're pretty fucked up while you're watching it, so you don't even realize that what you're listening to is complete hogwash. And eventually you sort of like, you know, melt into the couch and fall asleep, and you wake up and do the same thing again. And before you know it, 15 years has gone by and you haven't improved or changed or grown much at all. You're living the sort of same dead-end life that will fill you with nothing but sadness and emptiness by the time it's over. You don't really have kids. You don't really have a future. You literally, I don't know, like the most interesting thing about your week is that you were able to buy a blender off of Facebook Marketplace for below market price, and that exchange granted you a sort of very short-term high that you'll, you know, take with you to make it through the week. You know, you may not have kids or a future or a family, but you save $5 on the blender. Your life is sort of a collection of miniature wins that are able to stretch you through months and years sometimes without truly reconsidering why you're even alive in the first place. That's what your life is. So when Jimmy Kimmel comes on and Jimmy Kimmel plays through your shitty TV and the speakers that are filled with dust, you're sort of thinking and you're transported back to a time when you actually were sort of aware of your situation and how bad things are. You're going to slowly maybe think one day that Jimmy Kimmel's going to come on and that maybe I should change the channel. And when the moment you do it, the moment you change that channel, your life will be changed forever.
In 2015, he was averaging about 2.4 million viewers. Now, 2025, it's 1.6 million. It's nearly 40%. And, you know, he just doesn't seem to care that Donald Trump was, he won the popular vote, won all 7 swing states.
Yes.
The majority of Americans want Donald Trump in. There are so many MAGA supporters out there. And Jimmy Kimmel made this joke clearly to smear MAGA, just so tasteless, 5 days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And also, what's the biggest story here? In the last 10 days, Charlie Kirk lost his life for speaking freely, and now we've had a comedian that's been suspended for lying on air. You know, and now the left are jumping up and down, freaking out for the first time about free speech. The same people that were very happy to see Megyn Kelly get cancelled, Tucker Carlson get cancelled, J.K. Rowling be cancelled.
It's like the moment they get even the same smidgen of cancel culture that they've been supporting for literally fucking, what, 5+ years at this point, they spurg out. They say, no, what the hell? You can't do that. You can't cancel us. We've done the same thing to you for 10+ years, but you do it to us once, then we're gonna like start shitting ourselves and pissing ourselves. It's like, are you serious, man? Really? You don't see the irony in all of this? You just don't? It's actually hysterical. But yeah, anyway, that's what's going on with Hasan, Jimmy Kimmel, etc. Pretty interesting stuff going on there, but hopefully Antifa being designated as a fascist group deters people from doing violence, and from that, we can only hope society gets better. Anyway, good video.